friends. Guess who's back? Back again. Miss D's back. Tell a friend. Hey, hi, hello. How you been? How you doing? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty, and in today's video, I owe you guys an update. It's been a hot minute. Since getting out of the hospital, number one, time has zero meaning to me. I never know what day it is. I never know what time of the day it is. My sleep schedule is all wonkadoodle. Like, I didn't fall asleep till 4 o'clock this morning. And so I've just been a little bit of everywhere. And that's going to be reflected in this video. I am also struggling with short-term memory and just brain function in general. And we'll talk about that too. So if I repeat myself or if I lose my place in the middle of a thought, just bear with me, okay? Okay. So we'll start with this. Back in March, April, I mentioned that I'd sprained my wrist and I'd worn a brace, I don't know, for a few weeks. And then I stopped wearing it and I started having pain in the tendon in my thumb. So I switched the braces to one that immobilized the thumb. Saw my rheumatologist and she's like, you need something that will hold it a bit tighter. And she's like, you need something that you could probably wear a little bit longer. So I found this one on Amazon. It's good for people who have carpal tunnel and stuff, and I can sleep in it. Is it comfortable? No. Is it helping? Yes. My rheumatologist said I need 6 to 8 weeks at least in this brace to help that tendon side of, I don't know, I'll try to remember what it's called. But yeah, it's very, very painful. And you're like, Misty, what happened? I pointed. And that's how all of this started. So yeah. So anyway, maybe I've talked about it before. I honestly don't remember. I don't think I've posted an update since I posted my coming home video. That is not true. There was a video that went live either last week or the week before. I don't remember uploading that video. I don't remember titling that video. Maybe I did a description. I don't even remember scheduling that video. So when I started getting emails from YouTube, I was like, what? I haven't, and I went and looked, I was like, oh my word. And what's crazy is that I was literally editing that I was trying to splice 2 videos together because I have filmed updates, I just haven't gotten them uploaded. So I was like, oh my word. So I got a comment on another video going, what happened to your other video? And I took it down because I was like, Misty, just film a new video and stop trying to splice 2 together. So if you're like, Misty, who are you? What are you talking about? I was hospitalized over Memorial Day weekend here in the US with double pneumonia and RSV. I was scheduled for a C2 to T2 spinal fusion at the end of August. That has since been postponed. So I've basically been home since the end of May trying to recover from pneumonia. So I'm going to try to go in chronological order. I think that's going to be the best way to do this. And again, if I'm repeating things I've said before, I apologize, but Lord, looking back, I think you guys remember I woke up like it was hard for me to wake up. Like I barely was able to wake up that day. And looking back, I'm pretty sure my pulse ox was very low because it got down to 84 in the hospital. So I'm pretty sure that was the issue, and I think that's caused some brain function issues. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know that for sure, but it just makes sense that if I wasn't breathing very well, you know, and wasn't getting enough oxygen, then that probably could have affected your brain, and that can take a while to heal too. So yeah, so that's my hypothesis. I don't know if it's right or not. So I had to get a new cup because I needed a handle. This is the Soulful. I'll try to link it down below. It's not affiliated, but I like this better than the Hydro Flask because I got a new Hydro Flask and it doesn't keep anything cold for more than like 12 hours, which is sad because our other Hydro Flask I've had since 2017 and they are fantastic, but I need one with the handle. So, and this one was like half the price of the Hydro Flask, and the only thing I hate about it is the lid. That's really it. The one from Hydro Flask pops off. This one you have to screw on and not get it too tight and blah, blah, blah. So you're going to see me drinking out of this. if I'm a little winded, we got some kind of front. I think it was a cold front or something. And the humidity is a huge trigger for my asthma. And I'm still dealing with asthma and stuff from this pneumonia. So if you hear me a little wheezy, that's because I'm a little wheezy. I probably could use a puff of my inhaler or need a breathing treatment, but I'll take care of that after I film this video. This is my last video I need to film today. So, wearing a little makeup, feeling a little better. So came home from the hospital and felt like absolute death. I mean, 10 out of 10 do not recommend getting pneumonia and RSV. It was just, the recovery was rough. It was so hard. And that's why I made the decision to postpone that surgery, because it was like, okay, if I can't get over pneumonia very well, I can't even imagine this major surgery with all its implications. So it was a struggle. So I got a home health nurse and I got a physical therapist, because when I saw the physical therapist in the hospital, I mentioned that I have muscular dystrophy and I'm having this fusion, et cetera, et cetera. And she's like, I would really like to get you some physical therapy at home. Would you be okay with that? I was like, yeah, that's fine. So, and then the doctors were like, we're going to get you a nurse, because they sent me home and I was still like on an antibiotic and I was still on steroid and I still had some issues, but I wanted to go home so I could sleep. So, I mean, they'd already talked about sending me home, but it was my final decision. He's like, you can stay one more day. And I'm like, I can't sleep here. So it makes sense for me to go home and get some sleep so I can rest and start recovering. So Rob works from home and he works at the kitchen table. And if you've watched any of my kitchen table vlogs or whatever, the TV is right in front of his face. Like, he leaves it on. He doesn't listen to it because he's a proofreader. So he's reading and doing math all day. If he's doing financial documents or whatever. So, but he keeps it on. So, nurse comes, gets me enrolled in home health, and then the next week, a physical therapist comes. And she walks in. Now, listen, I don't know how to pronounce his name because I didn't watch anything about anything when the pandemic started. But she's like, oh, is that the Fauci, whatever trial? And we're like, no. And she just went into this whole tirade about how she was so happy he was being put to task because, you know, he talked about masks and social distancing and blah, 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 blah. Just like gleeful that he was getting in trouble or whatever. And I was just like, the entire world did the same thing. We wore masks, we social distance. We got that, I'm pretty sure, from China when they had the bird flu and stuff. Like, that's kind of where that came from. But anyway, that wasn't the biggest deal. She said, yeah, she's like, I'm so glad I didn't get the COVID vaccine. So glad. She's like, we were house divided. Me and my son didn't get it, but my husband and my daughters did. And she said, I don't even get the flu vaccine. And I was just like, danger, Will Robinson, danger. So I didn't say anything. I just kept my mouth shut. She did her little evaluation and she left. And I looked at Robin and he goes, what are we going to do? I said, why would they send me someone who is unvaccinated after I literally just got out of the hospital with double pneumonia and RSV, both of which I contracted from someone else? Like, I got that from someone else. That was contagious. And I was just like, and I wasn't even thinking about the COVID vaccine. I was just thinking about the flu. Like, you don't have a basic, how are you in healthcare and you don't have a basic vaccine? Now, don't get it twisted. You can do whatever you want to with your body. And I know a lot of people chose not to get vaccinated, or they choose not to do vaccines or anything. They don't trust the science. That's allowed. You're allowed to do that. But I'm also allowed to protect myself and protect my health. If you don't remember, I have common variable immunodeficiency, so I already have a bad immune system. I'm on immune suppression therapy for my rheumatoid arthritis, and when I went into the hospital with double pneumonia, RSV, and 103 fever, my white blood count was only 2.5. So it should have been much higher if we were fighting an infection. So my immune system is dead, basically, kinda. So to have someone come in who isn't protected from any of those, she wasn't wearing a mask, she didn't wash her hands or use hand sanitizer or nothing. I was just like, Robin, he's like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think you should ask for somebody else. So I called the home health and was like, hey, I found out today that my physical therapist isn't vaccinated. And I said, I would prefer to have someone who's vaccinated. And I get this hateful phone call a couple of days later. And she's like, She's like, well, I had to reschedule everybody for you, so you have someone who's vaccinated. She's like, but nobody can be there until next week. And I said, that's fine. Like, okay. I was so mad. She's lucky she caught me on a day where I couldn't breathe, or I would have given her the noise. I would have been shut her fucking up, because I was like, don't come at me with that, bro. You're the dumbass who sent someone unvaccinated to someone's house who literally just got out of the hospital with pneumonia and RSV. Like, I still, and the nurse hadn't been vaccinated either. It's like, how are you employed? Of course it is Texas, but it's like, how are you in healthcare and you're not vaccinated against anything? And it wouldn't have been a big deal, but physical therapists and stuff work most of the time with you. They're touching you, they're close to you. So I was like, no, thank you. Thank you very much. And again, she can do whatever she wants to, but I was just like, I need to protect my health. So got a new physical therapist and a new nurse. And the new physical therapist Rob's like, he was bruh. And I was just like, my husband is a 60-year-old white man. I'm like, how do you even know what that is? And I was just laughing. But I was like, is he a physical therapist or is he a personal trainer? And he really left a bad taste in my mouth, because he wanted me to look up it's a phobia about movement. And I was just like, number one, you're a physical therapist, not a psychiatrist. Number two, why would I ask for or be okay with physical therapy if I was afraid of moving? I was like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I told her, I was like, I'll give him 2 times. I will give him 2 times. I will give him 2 times. And I ended up seeing him until the first week of July. And after that, I was like, I'm done. After that, he wasn't as bad, but he was very loud. And I literally just walked circuits around the house. He did show me a couple of, like tiptoe and leg out stuff on the chair and at the counter in the kitchen. But that was really about it. And he was only coming twice a week for 30 minutes. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're paying for absolutely nothing of help, right? So, and then the nurse was like, why I have to see you for 6 weeks? I was like, you don't have to see me again if you don't want to. I said, I feel like I'm fine. I said, but you have to remember, when I was enrolled, I literally just gotten out of the hospital and I could barely breathe and barely move. And she's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I said, plus, my other diseases, I'm already at high risk. And so, yeah. So anyway, saw her twice a week. She was great. And then we were done. And I went and saw my regular doctor at the end of June. And he already knew. He already knew what was going on. He's like, I already looked. He said, I'm going to send you for a CT scan. Because I was like, I feel like I still have pneumonia. He's like, miss, you don't still have pneumonia. He said, if you did, you wouldn't be here. You'd be in the hospital. He's like, or you'd be dead. He's like, you don't have pneumonia for this long. He's like, you don't, and not be severely ill. And I was like, okay, well, my lungs still hurt. It's like, my lungs still hurt. That was one issue. It was like the day of my infusion back in June. So that would have been like the 15th or 16th. I woke up and my lungs were on fire. If you've ever had that kind of nerve pain where it feels like your arm is on fire or like you're literally in a flame, that is how my lungs felt. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, should I go ahead and get my infusion? And I did. Talked to my rheumatologist. She was like, I completely agree that not having this surgery in August is the best idea for you. She's like, you're going to be in a prone position. She's like, it's a long surgery. You may wake up and not get off the ventilator for a while. She's like, or a respirator or whatever, intubating, all of that good stuff. She said, I agree with that. And I said, okay. So, and plus I would have to be off my RA medicine for, I think it's like 16 weeks. And then I wouldn't be able to be on an inflammatory after that. So I'm going to not be on anti-inflammatories and I'm going to have an RA flare. And I'm trying to get over pneumonia. So it's like, and now the asthma afterwards. So I'm just like, oh my word. So I went ahead and had my infusion that day, middle of June, felt fine. Went for the CT scan. They had to do it with not fusion, what is that called? Contrast. I could literally feel the contrast go into my lungs, I think, and it hurt. So I am dealing with this, my lungs are sore. I don't know how else to describe it. And I've also been having issues with my asthma. So it's been a struggle. it's been a struggle, and it's taken a long time. I still don't even feel like I have all of my energy back. Like I've been pushing myself to get stuff done, but I'm perfectly content with just parking it on the couch with Roxy because I've just been so just exhausted. My body is exhausted. My brain is exhausted. I will say that the Spravato is working. I was diagnosed with my psychiatrist with medicine-resistant depression, and we started an intervention therapy called Spravato, Spravato. It is an inhalant that is administered under the care of a medical professional. So I go to the therapist office. What's that called? Like a group and practice thing. And I go there, there's a nurse, she monitors my vitals, and it takes about 2 hours for it to get in your brain, do what it's going to do, and then you kind of come out of it. And I've been doing that since I think the end of March. And I saw my psychiatrist last week. He and I were joking around. I said, listen, I said, I picked the wrong time to start this. I said, because at the beginning of the year, I was so apathetic. My brain had literally just shut down. We were in survival mode. It was trying to just protect itself, because from January 2023 until now, like things have been just one thing after another and just so much stuff, and my brain was just finally like, I'm done. You on your own, bish. So now I'm like, now I feel everything. So I was sitting on the couch yesterday with Rob, and I just looked at him. I was like, I feel sad. And he's like, why? I was like, I don't know. I said, but I don't, it's like these feelings. I said, now I'm anxious and scared and worried and everything that I wasn't feeling before we started this Spravato. But I say that in jest. So this medication is clinically proven to heal the areas in your brain that have been damaged from depression, anxiety, etc. I don't know the science behind it. You'll have to go look it up. But it does have ketamine in it and a few other things. But it's helped. I wasn't able to move up to the highest dose. I don't know if we talked about that. So I'm on 56 milligrams, which is kind of like the starter dose, but we tried to bump up to 84 milligrams. If you've ever had altitude sickness, it was like having altitude sickness and vertigo at the exact same time. The nurse walked in one day and I was literally asleep with the trash can under my face because I just threw up. Like immediately went in. That third one went in, I immediately threw up. And was just like altitude sickness, vertigo kind of stuff. And I finally said, I can't. And she was like, we can go back down. I was like, we're going to have to go back down. I was like, I can't do this. No way, no how. So I've been on the 56 milligram. I missed 2 doses, I think, when I was home with pneumonia. Number one, I didn't want to infect anybody. And number 2, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to be, struggling to breathe and doing this inhalant. So, yeah, I started that back up. I actually go next week. I'm doing it every other week, and it's been working, and I'm very lucky that my insurance covers it. Want to know what my insurance doesn't cover? Dexcom, or Freestyle Libre, or the Freestyle Light test strips. The insurance now covers only one diabetic testing supply, and that's the one touch meter and the one touch strips, and I was pissed. And the people at the insurance were like, you're going to have to talk to the HR person during formulary or whatever. And I'm just like, but it's like, I've worn a CGM now for almost 3 years. Like, what are we doing? Well, you don't test 8 times a day. No shit, Sherlock. I've been wearing a CGM for 3 years. Of course I'm not testing my blood sugar every 8 times a day, because I don't need to. And Rob and I talked about it because he's like, well, we could pay out of pocket. And I was just like, oh. Now, Dexcom does have like a coupon or whatever, but I told him, I said, I'm trying to lose weight for this surgery. And I said, everybody's always said that once you start losing weight, your blood sugar comes down. And I said, if it gets to a point where I'm not worried about it, it doesn't make sense to have a CGM when I can just test it, in the morning, test it at night if I need to. So that's what we've agreed on so far. I don't know. I haven't really decided. I don't know. So speaking of weight loss, I was really against setting a number goal. I really was against setting a number goal. But I've decided that I'm setting a number goal of 100 pounds. Oh, I forgot. Let me talk about the other thing first. I got a new therapist. I'm on therapist number 3. So the first therapist last year, she left like all of it behind and went to work with foster kids because she was a foster kid. And my most recent therapist she's moving to professional development. So I got a new therapist. I saw her for the first time last week. She seems really, really nice. I mean, it was just kind of a get to know you kind of thing. And she asked me a question that I have been having an existential crisis about since she asked me that. She's like, what fulfills you? And I was just like, she's like, what? I said, no one's ever asked me that. And I said, I have no idea. It's like, I have no idea. Because one of the things that I talked about was, and we can talk about this in a different video. I have permission to talk about it, but I've been in so much pain the last few years that I've had no desire to do anything physical at all, like intimate physical. And I've been struggling with the guilt of that because I feel like Rob is not getting all of his needs met. And, it's like I feel like, his cup isn't getting full. And she's like, well, what about your cup? And I was just like, that's a good question. So a lot of things to think about, but yeah, if you guys want a more in-depth video about that, Rob also is open to a Q&A. So if you want to ask some questions, feel free to leave them down below. So back to the weight loss. I've decided I want to lose 100 pounds. I weighed in 2 days ago at 337. So when I got home from the hospital, I was 325. So I'm up 12 pounds. I don't know. 12 of that is water weight. We just got a cold front the other day, yesterday, I think. We've talked before, and I know some people don't believe it, some people do, but when the pressure changes, etc., and even the physical therapist was like, yes, weather can be a huge contributing factor to what's going on with your body. So I tend to retain water when we have issues with the weather, like when we get a cold front or whatever. So I know a lot of that is just water weight. This week, I was basically planning to eat fried ground beef every day this week to kind of reset because I wasn't eating the healthiest last week. But today I really wanted breakfast tacos. So Rob went yesterday and got me some of the Mission low carb tortillas, the smaller ones, and he got me some stuff to make some homemade salsa. I don't know if you guys have a Taco Cabana, but I don't know what it is about their breakfast tacos, but they're so good. They're so good. And I was like, Missy, you can just make that at home. And so I did. And that we've talked about before about how sometimes it's about the better bad choice. And, having a homemade breakfast taco with a low carb wrap is better than me going to Taco Cabana and getting a full like a full whatever tortilla. So yeah. So anyway, 100 pounds. And I honestly don't know how I want to do it. I talked before about alternate day fasting, and that's still something that could happen. But as I mentioned, this Wegovy, I hate it. I don't know why people want to go on Wegovy. I mean, I can understand why, but goddamn, I hate it. Like the other day I cooked brats on the stove. If you've been here with me, you've seen me eat brats probably 50, 60 times over the last 8, 9 years. I took one bite and I had to spit it right back out. I can't even handle the smell of them when Rob heats them up in the microwave. I'm like, And then I bought a Sol de Janeiro lotion. You guys, it smells so good. If you are a fruity floral kind of person, if you've ever smelled Carolina Herrera, the shoe perfume, Very Good Girl is the red one. If you've ever smelled that, the Beja Flora from Sol de Janeiro smells exactly like it. It's got that lychee as one of the top notes, and oh my god, it smells so good. But I was just like, whoa, this smells awful. And I've been wearing it for a week. So yeah, I hate the Wegovy, and that's one thing I want to get off of. One thing that I also need to do is get a new endocrinologist. You guys, I just can't. And Rob and I talked about it, and I think I'm going to try to go back to the Choctaws. I was seeing an endocrinologist 3.5 hours away, driving every 3 to 6 months to go see an endocrinologist with the Choctaw Nation because they're more thorough. And Native Americans and African Americans are the highest, it's more prevalent in both those races, diabetes, specifically type 2 diabetes. And I told her, I was like, I think I want to try to get back with the Choctaw Nation. They have a clinic in Durant. I go to Durant once a year for classes, and I thought maybe I can get in for January and, you know, we can start going. It's about an hour, hour and a half there, depending on traffic. And so it's not like 6 hours in the car in one day with he and I. So I'm going to try to do that because this endocrinologist, she's nice, but our appointments are literally 5 minutes, you guys. Like 5 minutes for an endocrinologist. And I want more than that. You know what I mean? I want more than that, especially from a specialist. And I got so like with the I was going to the Diabetes Wellness Center with the Choctaw Nation. My endocrinologist, they checked my feet. We did way more, talking more about my thyroid and stuff like that than she ever does. And I don't know, I think I would feel better back with them than this one. So I need to talk to my regular doctor. I'm supposed to see him next week, but I just saw him a month ago, so I don't think I'm going to keep that appointment. I may push it back. Plus, I want to get a flu shot when I'm there, so if I go, you know, end of August, 1st of September, I can get my flu shot and stuff. So yeah. Anywho, that's the endocrinologist stuff. So I want off Wegovy. I want off of it so bad. I hate it. I hate it. The one thing that I hate the most is literally feeling like I got full in 5 minutes and then having to eat 5 minutes later, or have just eaten and felt like I haven't eaten all day. Like, I hate it. I hate the way that it messes with my sense of taste and my sense of smell, which I know it's supposed to do because it's supposed to make food unappealing. Well, guess what? It doesn't do that to me. It makes smells and stuff unappealing. So, I mean, it does do some food too, but for the most part, it just, like, I never know what's going to smell good and what's going to taste good. As far as smelling, I make Rob smell everything. I'm like, this is smell off, this is smell off. Like yesterday, I had a turkey sandwich with the all-day keto bread, and I said, does this smell off? And he's like, no, it smells fine. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. So, yeah. So I want to lose 100 pounds. I thought about doing like countdown to 100 or something. You guys will have to let me know if you have a name that you can think of. As far as a way of eating, I don't know. I really wish I could be one of those people who could have like quinoa and, you know, brown rice and stuff like that. But I just can't. I just cannot. And that sucks. And I think I'm just going to try to be as low carb as possible. My battery is going to die, so let me grab a different one. I'll be right back. Okay, so where was that? Losing 100 pounds. I really don't know. I honestly don't know what I want to do. Like, I don't know. But like I said, I wish I could be someone who could eat, you know, quinoa. I don't, and stuff. Like, right now I can't. You know what I mean? And so this week, like I said, I've been doing basically hamburger meat. I made a soy sauce. I made a compound butter with soy sauce and garlic. So good. It tastes best over popcorn or fried rice. But I also like it on top of my steak sometimes and on top and the hamburger meat. Rather than just eating plain meat. I can't do that anymore because of the Wegovy. So, I've been doing that, and then of course today I had the breakfast taco. I have been eating 1 meal a day. I'm not, I don't have a specific eating window, but for the last couple of days I've been eating around 5 o'clock. Now today I woke up starving, so I ate first thing. But yeah, oh sandwich, my lungs are killing me. I really should probably do a breathing treatment. It's still really humid here. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. That's a lot. I've started having issues with that pinched nerve that's like on my right side, and it is, I was like, oh my word. So yeah, so trying to navigate getting over pneumonia has been rough. I have gotten the desire back to put on makeup, play with makeup. I've gotten the desire to get back to crafting, so I've been doing that. I have a ton of cards I need to put in my Etsy shop. I'm going to start my holiday card series soon. It's going to be my 10th one over my Jellyfish Elf channel. So I am feeling much better mentally. I'm feeling somewhat better physically. But I just know that, like last year, I felt like I wasted an entire year. And I've wasted probably half of this year too. Just not eating as I should. Just relying on food as a crutch. And I need to stop that. And yeah, I've been emotionally spending too, which is not good. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of it. I will probably get back to vlogging, mostly to keep myself accountable. And just make sure it gets done. You know what I mean? I see my immunologist next week. I see my dentist next week. I have a dentist appointment. I do the Spravato next week. I'm supposed to see my regular doctor. I need to call him to schedule that appointment tomorrow. So yeah, Rob's like, you don't have any appointments next week? I was like, no. And this was last week. He's like, whoa. I said, I know. It's amazing. So I have therapy on Monday too. That's, we're doing Zoom. The only thing that bothered me was she was like in front of her, it looked like she was in front of a green screen, and I couldn't focus on anything else except for the waviness of her that was all around her. It was really hard to focus. I'm thinking about making those smash burger taco things on the tortilla. We'll see how I do. But yeah, so that's it. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks to everybody who's left such kind comments. I appreciate it. It has definitely been a learning experience. Again, 10 out of 10, do not recommend getting pneumonia. And I want this asthma to go away. Like, I'm ready for it to go away. And I don't know that it's going to go away. I really need to get in to see a pulmonologist. I've been talking about that. My doctor and I talked about it, and I don't know if we both got distracted or what, but nothing ever happened of it. So I want to see if I can get in to see somebody. And I know they're several months behind, but if it gets too bad, I'll just go across the street to the hospital, you know what I mean? So yeah. 100 pounds. I will probably do an official weigh-in, I don't know, Sunday, Monday, and start vlogging then. I don't know how often I'll post them. Because if I do a full day of eating, I'm literally eating 1 meal a day. I am having coffee in the morning. Yesterday, I got a cold brew from Starbucks. I normally keep cold brew in the fridge, but I had run out, and we hadn't made more. And so I was like, well, he had to go run a few errands. I was like, will you give me a Starbucks cold brew, please? So yeah, I'm still having coffee in the morning, but I'm not considering that breaking my fast. I know I'll probably get yelled at in the comments, but whatever. The vitriol I see on people's videos, like I don't even get on Instagram or TikTok. Sometimes I'm on Facebook Reels or Facebook, whatever they're called, but fat people can't win. Fat people cannot win. People analyze how many calories they're eating in a day. People call them out if they're showing videos of them exercising, how it's not working, you're not losing weight. If they have weight loss surgery, you took the easy way out. If they're taking Ozempic or Wegovy, you're taking the easy way out. And it's like, okay, what do you want? What do you want? You want fat people to be skinny, clearly, but you're not supporting, you don't want them to do it anyway. Like, how you want them to die? Is that the way you want fat people to? And it's just like, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And not for me, because I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. My weight loss is not a vanity issue. Like, there's not a thin woman trapped inside me trying to get out. Like, I'm not suffering from confidence issues or anything like that. And I'm not passing judgment on anyone who is. Listen to my words. I had to fight to rewrite the CD in my head. You'd be pretty if you just lost some weight. You'd be so pretty if you just lost some weight. You'd get a boyfriend if you just lost some weight. And clearly I was dealing with something because I graduated high school at 320 pounds. And I went from 4, almost 5 being a normal sized child, in kindergarten being overweight. So clearly something happened. And yeah, so anyway, it's just so disheartening to see the comments on people's videos, and it's like, ugh, can you just not? Can you just not? It's just, oof, it's gross. It's so gross. And it's like, that's why I try to stick to YouTube, because it's like, getting on any other social media is just, and this could be toxic too. I mean, you guys know I was on that live stream about people who just hated me for some, I don't know why. I don't know why I swallowed a fly, perhaps surely. So anyway, yeah. So that's it. I don't, like I said, I don't have a firm plan in mind. Ketovore, carnivore, I don't know. Just intuitive eating when I'm hungry, those kinds of things. If you guys want kind of a favorites video, let me know, because I do have some food favorites and some other things that I can share with you. Or if there's any other content you want to see. Like I said, Rob is open to a Q&A, so if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. Feel free to email me, whatever you want to do. I can't promise that he'll answer them. I'm going to leave it up to him what he chooses to talk about and what he chooses not to talk about. But yeah. And if you have a Q&A for me, that's fine too. I don't know, the last year and a half has been bullshit. And I think being so sick so close to my birthday just really was a mind fuck. Because I started the year off in the hospital, or at the hospital, started my 46th year at the hospital. It's just been a struggle. And it's not because of my weight. I mean, my lower back could be. My neck isn't. My immune system isn't. You know what I mean? So it's like some things I can control and some things I can't. And that's why I've been eating so poorly. It's because the only thing I can control is what I put in my mouth. And I've said that for years and years and years. And sometimes I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't care. And it's something I need to talk to my doctor about, because it's like, my therapist about, because it's like, okay, what is it about? I lose weight and then I eat poorly to celebrate. Not really celebrate, but it's like I have a scale victory and then I eat poorly. And then I get back down and have a scale victory and I eat poorly. And it's like I've got to break that cycle and figure out what exactly that is. I don't know if it's because I haven't been below 320 in my life. Like my adult life. I graduated high school at like 320 or 330. I've been fat my entire life. So I don't remember what it feels like not to be this big, this heavy, and I don't know. I don't know. There's some kind of mental thing going on there that I really need to figure out. Because at the end of the day, I have no other choice. I mean, my other choice is to have another surgery at 330 pounds or whatever. And I just don't want to. 100 pounds would put me right around 230. Still be considered obese and stuff. And the endocrinologist is like, why aren't you having weight loss surgery? I was like, because I'm not going to have 2 major surgeries within a year of each other. I was like, that's dumb. I said, number 2, it's like, but my issue isn't, the real issue isn't the food. That's not the real issue. The real issue is the emotions behind it. And I said, it won't do, I said, that's just a tool. And Rob and I both know people who've passed away from having weight loss surgery. We both know people who've gained all of their weight back plus some after having gastric surgery or whatever. Because you can you can gain your weight back. You can stretch your stomach back out. So it's not a permanent fix. And I don't know. It's just not the choice that I'm going to make unless I just absolutely have to. It's not for me. And I don't fault anybody that has it. I know people, my best friend, he had a lap band, God, 15 years ago now. And he's kept this weight off the entire time. So it takes dedication, effort, and again, it's just a tool. It's not magic whatsoever. So I really need to fix the brain part before I try and try to even do anything like that. I just don't want to. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. This was a lot of rambly. But again, existential crisis. I'm not kidding when I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? Like, what's happening? And so, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I appreciate you joining me. I don't know when I'll see you again. It won't be in a month. I do swear. I solemnly swear that it won't be another month to 6 weeks before you see my face again. I really am going to shoot for at least every other day vlogs or something. Again, if nothing else, to hold myself accountable and to just kind of push me to keep going. I don't know how often I'll weigh in. Number one, the weight on the scale is just one part of it, and it's not the be all end all of if you're healthy or not. You know, you'll notice when your clothes are looser. You'll notice when, you can see the changes in your body in the mirror, stuff like that. So I really do want to focus on non-scale victories as much as I can focus on scale victories. I'm very, very upset that I'm not able to get in the pool. And the reason why I'm not able to get in the pool is because the way I get out of the pool, I'm like pushing myself up because we don't have a rail for me to get in and out of. We haven't had an opportunity to get one put in because they have drain, all of it. It's going to be expensive. And so I have to kind of push myself up, and I can't do that. I can't wear this brace in the water, and I can't do that. So it's been really frustrating. We haven't been in the pool at all this year. It's the end of July. So I was really counting and betting on being able to get some swimming in, but I haven't. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. Let me know how you're doing. Are you enjoying summer? I can't believe we are under 100. I don't think we've hit 100 more than a couple of days, whereas last year we had like 55 or 56 days. I was like, Lord have mercy on my soul. Our electric bill is already super high, so that's dumb. But, yeah. I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.